Hey, 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 oh, I want to marry you. Thieving bastard. Oh, I mean, Barry Swales, welcome to the show. Welcome to the House of Fun, everybody now. Welcome to the Lion's Den. Been watching them madness the other week, the full show all the way through for when they started. And I've been watching the mods, you know, the mods from the 80s. The bikes and that, they're all in the 60s, like late 60s now, like my age. And they're all immaculate still, the clothes, and my house, but they've all, instead of all fighting the bikers now, they all sit together in the same room. They have rockers and bikers together, like rockers and mods and that together now, and they all listen to the old soul music. Remember the soul music? Marvellous it is. So everyone packed in with all the fighting and all that shit, and they'll go around helping people, you know, struggling. One had cancer, they got 15 grand for him. He was diabetes, one of the leaders of one of the gangs of the mods, but they were all stick together as well. I think there's about 30,000 in one gang. The Birmingham, there was a lot of Birmingham mods, but they all got to rallies. It looks really good. There's no trouble in nothing, not a thing. Everyone's just looking at each other's clothes and the bikes and them and be out and have a ride down the Esplanade and have nice creams and shit. Like it should be, innit? Instead of all that shit, remember in the 50s and 60s where they're all fighting. That when they did the Quadrophenia film, that was the people coming up to them, the newspaper people, and giving them a tenner to kick off with the hillbilly, the rockabilly with the motorbike gang, and they give them a tenner, and then they give the other ones a tenner to fight with them. So that was all made up that scene, all them scenes. And when it really happened in real life, the real thing happened again, where they would come. I remember when we lived at Red Car, and it was like 1985, I think it was, and the mods come to town. If you go in the Middlesbrough Evening Gazette, you'll see it. There's over 3,000 turned up. We worked on the doors. There's no trouble at all. They're all good lads from Mansfield and that. So I met loads of them. But there's gangs them everywhere. In Hartlepool, there's Stockton, there's Middlesbrough, there's Redcar, there's Great Ayton. So they still all go out even around this area. You know, all the bad lads on the motorbikes going down Seaton Crew, and the lads and lasses on the mopeds, the fizzies, the scooters, or the Lambrettas. They go down to like Scarborough or Whitby or the Whitby Regatta. Just see who's on bike trails. Are you okay? I'm okay, yeah. David Knowles, how you there? David, hope you're okay. We're having a good day. Border lad, how you son? Love you all the world. Daniel Moore, welcome to the show. Moderators, Gregor's. Was that Farmouth lad? You okay? Guten Tag, mein food time. Guten time. Yes, German. I've read that off Harry Potter. I've read that, not Harry Potter. I've read that off Charlie Chocolate Factory. Customer Glump, you remember me fell in the river. We drank the river of chocolate. That was class. That's one of my favourite films. That every Christmas it comes on, I watch it. Tries to drink the river, doesn't he? I'm getting a bad cough. Yeah, I've just been on sunbed as well. My throat's been bad for about 3 days. John Lee Clark, you okay, mate? What a chat. John Connors, 12. Hello, Brian. Hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm getting better, mate. I'm definitely getting well. You can see him. My face is filling out now. Look, my teeth looking better. My teeth, everything goes to it when you're poorly. Everything just decays, doesn't it? Yeah. You can't eat. Emma, can you get me an ear there? I'm choking a bit. I've got thingy today with this hay fever. Got phlegm in my throat. Drives me mental. As soon as you start coughing, you can't stop. And I'm having an asthma attack. It's horrible. I've had it since I was a baby. I was born with asthma when I was a kid. I was running already. YouTube Nosy Evening Bro. RCR4 OCR. See, fucking I'm looking for that. You need glasses. I'm looking for the big thing for glasses. CR. Barry. We'll read that out. I'm going to pulled over. There you go. assistant, amazing Emma. Stephen Gibson, Yorkshire Stephen. Dark Side One, I think that's my wife. You wouldn't think like a little bit of thing like that. When I was a kid, my mum would not let me have an inhaler, and we lived in the countryside on the A19, just before the garage. The garage on there. There's a place where they do MOTs and everything on the right, and it's just before you go to Wolverstone. And I used to have an attack because we lived in the woods. We had a cottage in the woods, a little tiny cottage, 4-bedroom, no, 3-bedroom cottage was in the woods. And when I used to get it, it was bad, and they had to get an ambulance to get me to the hospital. But all you do was go a little inhaler. Or you get addicted to them. You don't if you're only taking them every now and then. If you're on them all day long, take them, then you need them. If you're on them every day, non-stop, then you get addicted to them. But you don't if you're only having a go when you're really poorly. That's the best one I've had in about 2 weeks now. No, two days, sorry. I had one the other night when I was on here before I come down. But it just goes. But if you leave it, it just builds up the blockage in your nose and that you get blocked. You can't breathe. It constructs your airways. It's terrible. So that just opens the airways up. That's a strong. That's not the strong one. The other one, the brown one's a strong one. But I've got a white one with a bit of red on it. I've never used it, but it's full of steroids. It's the powerful one you can get if you ever get like a real bad panic attack. I've never had a bad panic attack for years since I was a kid. I used to get them as a kid. My mum used to be scared. We used to take me to the hospital. We used to go to the hospital. In a couple of days, I was all right because I was in the hospital. There was no woods, no damp woods, and it was in a damp wood we lived in. And it was actually environment I was in. It was giving me the asthma. So we had to move from there. So we moved to Hartlepool. So we moved to 13 Romaine Park in Hartlepool. And in the cottage, we never had any electricity. We had gas bottles for the cooker, and we had them tilly lights, and we had them lights where you lit like a mantle, like a mantle you lit, and you get gas put in, and you like it to be like going back 400 years, like the Victorian days. It was absolutely horrendous. We had a steel tin bath. We had no washing machine. My mum had to wash them. My mum had this old-fashioned washer, like no liquid washer because there was no electricity. So she used to hold it by hand like that, back and forth, and the clothes would go like back and forth. Took her for hours and hours, bless her. And she'd do it with that, and then you put them through a mangle, and she'd have to mangle them through to get the water goes down the back of the washer. And we had a Calagas bottle. As the Calagas bottle ran out, you had no heating, so we had to go out and get wood. That was a good thing with living in the woods. We used to be able to get the wood out of the woods, bring it back to my mum and dad, and for the family, put it in the bunker outside, and leave it there, and it would just dry out. So we'd have loads of wood. But when the winter comes, you'd have to buy coal because the wood would be so cold that you couldn't burn it. We had one of them Eiger, the Eiger ones, the little Victorian ones where you open it up, and you can, on this side here, you can open this hatch, and you put all the heat in that side, and then you put your coal on this side, and you've got like implements coming out. You can put your kettle on it, and you pull it around like that, and put your kettle on, and then you can have like a fork coming out, and you've got like tongs coming out where you can move the stuff, and you've got your roast can go on this side at the top. You put it, slide it in there, and then you can have all the embers in there, red hot. You make baked potatoes and everything. Which that's what they used to live off. So yeah, I think it's about 450-year-old. The cottage, it's still there now. People have moved into it since then, but it was rough, to live there, especially with asthma. For that, anyone else? Yeah. On the day we had big bands, but big GP Cuddy, and now the Saxman Hope Paddy is that. Live. Paddy's going to be on live later on. We're going to be doing the one down London, the full trial, all the way through it. We're going to go down there and stay there. And we're going to go down there and get all the information off there. So we've already been in with solicitors and things like that. So we're going to be getting passes to go into the place. And so we can go in and speak. Because you can't just walk in, you have to have permission to get in. So that'll be good with them getting all that, putting it all down. Then we coming back to you what's happening. We'll go and take pictures in the. I wonder if we can video in there. I'm not sure. I know it's huge because I've seen it when I watched it on telly. When you watch films and you see it's fucking huge, massive. It's like an airport. You want to go to an airport, massive. Paddy Bean as well. Paddy said the statues all home, and not a big massive statues. Well, you put in like a park, like say in Redcar something. So there'd be a big massive statue there. But these are inside the building. But it's all locked down. Roofs and everything, all bulletproof with their windows and glass and everything. But I think I've got a feeling they might do when they put them there, with the novel and the jury carry on, allegedly. I think they might have a police officer with every single person in the jury. I've seen it working. I've seen it in America. John Elite told me before. What they've done is they have people where you can have somebody stand up to you. So you'll be in a room, like the police will be in this room, and you'll see them in the other room. The jury will be in another room, or they'll be in, like, say, 2 people in the jury room. So they might double up. So they'll be in their bedroom there, but the police will be sat here like that, watching them in bed, watching there's nobody phoning up, watching there's nobody going to the door, and they'll be armed to the teeth. Totally armed to the teeth, because of obviously I'm not grassing him up because he's already been convicted for firearms offences, armed robbery. So if you're prepared to pull a gun on someone and do an armed robbery, you've got to be prepared. For the fact you've got to be prepared to pull the trigger. So them cops down there, if they're trying that shit, they'll just get wiped out. The cops will just wipe them out in 2 seconds. They won't fucking hesitate to shoot you dead. That's their policy now. There's none of all that shit. Stop there, drop the gun and all that. If you've got a gun in there, something like in a courtroom or in a certain building, they will open fire and kill you straight away. They won't let you get away. So they're in the shit. I think they're going to QE each other. I think they're going to grass each other up. I've got a feeling they're going to make statements against each other. Do a deal where one can get maybe 10, 20 years or something, or left off for 30 years, and the other ones get maybe, you see them doing you where they all get caught and there's 10 in the gang, and they go, right, who did it? And they'll say, Tommy Smith. And they'll go, another one, who did it? And they'll go, Tommy Smith. Who's the main leader, Tommy Smith? And they all grass each other up. But they go for Tommy Smith because he's the leader. Without him, with all the plans and how to do it, he's the leader. And obviously we know he's the leader in this one. Number one target, he's been caught. So they'll target him constantly now. Even if he gets off of this one, they'll still target him non-stop until they get him. It might be fucking 10 years down the line. So that's what they're doing in America. John Elite said they have RICO over there, like a RICO thing where it opens up. And once it opens up, it never shuts. It can be shut down for a couple of 6 months or a year or two. But as soon as something happens, it just reopens, like a special beep, beep, beep. It'll make that noise and it starts opening up again, because they can start bugging them again and doing everything they want to do again, but they can't unless they have that beeper comes off, he said. So then it's back on top for them. And that's how they get that over there in America. Like when John Elite was, my mate who was over there, he was in the mafia, he was looking after what do you call him, the main one, fucking John Gotti. He was looking after John Gotti. He was one of his bodyguards, and he ended up killing 33 people. He was charged for 33 people, but when he was doing that, he was in a jail down in South America. Down South America, and he was doing 5-year jail. So while he was in there, Sammy the Bull was in another jail. Gotti done a deal with the FBI. He said, I'll give you the names of the ones who shot I'll give you one who shot 33 people. I'll give you Sammy the Bull as well. So they got Sammy the Bull. They already booked him saying this to the FBI. Sammy! Playing with that toy. Little bastard he is. We heard him playing with his toy. Give you take a little baby in it. Well, you had a little pup. Anyway, so I'll kill you in a minute. Deliberately doing it. He does it. He's only had it a week. He never stops playing with it. He made me laugh. So I've lost my story now. So down where so they went to see Gotti. He got the statement off Gotti. They recorded him. Well, I'll do a duel. I'll put John Elite in and such. And the other one, I won't mention the one's name because I know them, but I haven't asked for their permission. But John said I could mention it if I wanted to. So John Elite's in there, and then he gets stabbed up in Brazil. That was the jail, in a Brazilian jail. And these Brazilian jails, I don't know if you've ever seen them. It's a bit like where the cartel were in, but worse than that, the worst jails in the world. So the prisoners actually are left on their own, like 5,000 prisoners in the jail. And every now and then they'll come round with the food and leave the food and walk away with the guns like that. Walk backwards. They don't live in there, the screws with them. Every now and then they'll come in with like a big riot pig and spray them all, soak them all. Or they'll come inside any one of them jails, they just shoot them straight away. They shoot them in the legs. If they try to go up the fence, they just machine gun them. They don't have no qualms whatsoever. Shoot to kill is the policy, not like shoot to maim them, shoot to kill. So they take the legs out, and when the legs are gone, they'll use them to get information, and then they'll just fucking shoot the cunts. They're not bothered. They'll say, oh, he died of his injury, and they'll shoot him just in the back of the head, Johnson. They'll just kill them. They're not bothered. They'll say, well, he was shot, got shot, and because he was shot in the legs, and everyone's seen him falling down the legs, they don't know he wasn't shot in the head. But by the time we get back, they'll put a bullet in the back of the head. Now he got caught with a bullet in the head, and they can't prove nothing because they're in a jail, and they'll be kicked off for knives trying to stab screws or something. So that's what's like there. So John was in there and said, FBI, you're under arrest. So they made like this big train thing, so he had to go through it, all the screws and that, and when people took him off there, took him out of the prison and put him in the proper prison over the road, as a proper one, and sat and said, right, we're going to listen to these tapes. He went, fuck it, if you splice them together, you're lying. John wouldn't do that to me. John wouldn't do this. John wouldn't do that. So he said, couldn't believe it, Brian. He said, 2 minutes. He said, I could hear his voice, distinct voice straight away. Yeah, John Elite was the one who did the 33 shootings. He killed all 33 on the behest of me, means which he told me to do it. And John got life stop. John was going to get life stop, 30, 40 years. So then him and Sammy the Bull said, fuck this. Why should we do 30 fucking years for that to come back when he's crossing us up? So they made statements and did a deal. But you can't blame them when the boss who you fucking saved for life and saved his life and put your life on the line for him, going to go away to jail for life. He's prepared to do the jail for life. But as soon as he heard him talking about him, saying, oh, John did it. And Sammy the Bull wouldn't believe it for about 3 or 4 years. And then he copped. He went, listen, I'll make a statement as well. So they all copped and made statements against him. And he got fucking lifed up because they're trying to get Gotti. They couldn't get him because he kept nobbling the jewelry. The same thing what we were on about. He had people going in, giving them, like, say, whatever money. He had people going in who were, like, say, barristers or judges. And he was saying, we know your son, I'm just making this build, you know, your son's called Tommy, and we know where Andy lives, and you've got a wife and a daughter lives in such and such, you've got a son who was in whatever, a different place, and he named all the things, so the people were petrified. That's why they might, I think with these, they might have people designated with them so they can see every fucking thing they're doing. They might even book, I think his cell will be booked to fuck, and I think they'll try and get Don to talk. Don will try, I think they've already prepped Don up to speak to them and speak to him and try to get some information. He's going, well, I'll tell you what, really, I'll do this if you want me to do that. You told me to do this and you told me to do that. And I think he'll try to implicate him in the murders. That's what I think he'll do. I think he'll try to drag him into it. But he's too clever for that. Like, he's not fucking daft. He's definitely not daft. But, yeah, the thought to run everything. But all that time you were your friends, say with all them, the Viv Graham's, all friends, and that, they murdered all the friends. They were all friends of them at Fest. They went in the doors, you know, we go to the gyms and all sorts together. All right, mate, all right, all best of friends. They've murdered all the friends. He didn't say this, he hasn't said this. They've murdered all their own, they were all friends of theirs. Oh, we're going for a drink tonight. These people are going for a drink for the night, never come back. Like, you fancy going to such and such, we'll do a tax. They'll go in the house to work there, bang, 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 fucking tie wraps on their neck, bags on their head, straight in a fucking thing and into a river or something. Or wherever they put them. That's what they've been doing. I think that's what they've been doing. Getting people to do taxes with them and then just take the money off them, tax them with them, and then take the full money off them and top of them. I think that's what they've been doing for years. I know for a fact they went to the cops. I know 100,000,000% when I was in jail with different people that said they fucking grasses, Brian. I didn't believe. No, you don't believe because you're friends. And I'd never heard nothing. And then it all just started coming out. Every jail I went to with people said, fucking grass me up. And then one said, you grass me up in here. You know, in the jail where I was in. She made statements against me in the jail, just in the jail. Fucking the lad got put in the block because of them. They were known for grassing what they were doing. They were giving people gear, like Brown, and giving people drugs. And then going to screw. He's got it now. And they would go, all units, all you boom, and go in, nick someone, catch them with the gear, like half a key of fucking heroin in jail. You're talking 20-year fucking jail. That's what they were doing, setting people up, giving them jobs to do, then going back around and taking the fucking money off when they've done the job. That's what you mean. He said, well, when they've done the job, they've gone and got the money and done an armed robbery and sort of stuff, and they put it in a special unit where only them know. The Winter gang have gone around and put guns to their heads and took the fucking gear off them, threatened to kill them. So they've took like 30, 40 grand off them and kept the money. Where the money's supposed to be like, say, 15 for them for giving them the job and 15 for the lads. But they took all the money, kept it on, put guns to their heads and threatened to kill them. And what could you do? You're just a normal young lad, about 25 years old or something. You haven't got a chance against all them. But they always go 20-handed out. But me, like Paddy used to go, when I used to go and see Paddy up there, we'd known Paddy for 40 fucking years, man. We used to go up there, we had to go to Paddy's pub, and I'd go in the pub, and I'd drink, hey, big fella, what are you doing? They'd all come out and make a proper fuss of me. Glover and all them, even because they're all pals then, and all them fucking lot. And John Chizzy was a good lad from Sunderland. He used to come out, you're a big bastard, you used to say, where the fuck do you get a neck that fucking big? Look at the size of your neck. And they all used to come out and make a fuss of me. We'd have a drink, we'd have a laugh. No carry on and fuck all, no trouble or nothing. Everyone was happy. Everyone was just like having a few ecstasy or whatever. But there was never no crack in the club. There was never no coke in the club. It was just a few people smoking a bit of joint. Might be a few having an ecstasy or something tablet. There's nothing wrong with taking them. They weren't getting people paranoid and made people fucking. So as you put that cocaine on the table, you have one line, you're fucking paranoid to death. It's fucking horrible. But it was good. We used to go up there. And I remember Paddy was building a hotel with his. I think they called him Jimmy. He was building a hotel, about £12 million hotel he was building. And the fucking cops robbed his money. I said to him, where's your money? He went, the cops have took it. I said, what do you mean they've took it? He went, what, Rick seized it? No, they fucking stole my money and put it in their own bank accounts and robbed my fucking money. Robbed his fucking money. Still got it to this day. The cops have still got the money to this day. They put it in the copper who had arrested Paddy, took the money off him, and then put it in the bank account into the copper's own name. How the fuck can you do that? And he complained. Never done fuck all. They've still got his money to this day. Ask him that story, he'll tell you. And I couldn't work it out. I think you've got to be joking. That's when I realised the extent of how much power the cops have got. When he said they've took his money off him, what was legally his money in his own bank account, and took it out of his bank account and then put it in their bank account and spent the fucking money. I don't think I'll bet now, like, but I don't know how much there was. I know it was a lot of money because I know he was building I think it was a £12 million hotel that were allegedly going to be building as you went into Newcastle. I remember it because I think it was a little solicitor about this big. Talking to me, and he went in and I said, this is Brian, one of my best friends, he said, and I shook hands with him. And he said, what do you think, big fella? I said, yeah, it'd be marvellous, it's all done. I said, don't be fucking charging me rent when you get it when you open it. He started laughing. And he said, well, he's a big lad, isn't he, Paddy? Well, he didn't come much bigger than him, he said. Now we had some good laughs, good times and that, you know. If we had any trouble, we'd help each other. We never talk about our stuff, what we done. I only talk about things I did. I don't talk about things I did with other people to bring them into stuff. I don't mention it, you know. I just mention the sides, going out, drinking, things like that. I don't mention the naughty things I've done with certain people on these things because it could get you jail, can reopen a case. Because I've got that double jeopardy thing now, which was brought out because my mate Oggy and his wife, she lived in Billingham, and she used to work in a nightclub called the Big Night Out, and it was called Eleanor Rigby's, you know, the Beatles and the Big Night Out, and we used to run the door there. We had all the doors. I had all the doors there with John Black. He was running the doors. He was the owner, and it was Tony Zivanakis. Paddy, if you're watching this, who used to own the. He was a Greek. Tony Zivanakis owned the Madisons in Newcastle, in Leeds, he owned the Top Deck in Redcar, and he owned the Madisons in, I think there was one in Leeds, I think there might be one in Manchester as well, but he was a multi-millionaire, top gangsters. I think he's gone now. He owned all them clubs. He had 6, 7, 8 clubs. He had clubs right down the West End, and he was in with all like the Richardsons, and say that now, all them type of people. He was in with all the big time people down there. And he used to work with all them lot because he had all the clubs. He wasn't into robberies and things. He was a businessman with nightclubs. So he owned all them nightclubs. Stop it, you two! Trying to talk here. 114 people on, it's doing well. So yeah, so me and Paddy used to go out to Paddy's up there, and you sit in his main little Speedy. He absolutely loved Speedy. I remember he was tuned up with Speedy once for a while over to carry on over somewhere, and him and Speedy were paired up with him. Paddy, and me and Gas, I used to go up and see Paddy because he was on remand. I knew he fucking goes up to see him, and the screw went, "Oh, you can't go over there." And Paddy went, "You can go where you fucking want." It's Brian Cockerill. "Oh, are you Brian Cockerill?" Yeah. So we were all you're allowed is 2 people at a chair. So me and Gas, I would go another sit with Paddy. So I said, "I'm just going to go and see Speedy." I'd go over there, and you could have like some chocolates and sweets and shit like that, and go over and see him. I'd come back over to him. I was just walking about. The screws didn't do a fucking thing. And it used to have Kentucky's brought and everything. Used to come in on the afternoon. You could bring a Kentucky in, it was Speedy and all them at the room, Speedy and them fucking smashed up the place because that grass fucking Paddy was on the boat with when he tried to get his Paddy caught with heroin. No, doing Paddy. He tried to plant heroin on a boat, which he did plant on. And then the last minute, woof, Paddy, get the fuck out of that deal now. Get away from him. He's a dodge pot. He's grass touching, blah, 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 blah. I went, are you sure, big fat? I said, Paddy, on my fucking life. I'm telling you now. He said, right, leave it. Found out later, he told me when he come back, he went, fucking hell, he had me going on the boat with about 300 kilos, the biggest shipment of heroin in history. Paddy was getting onto the boat and they never arrested him. They were trying to get him further on. And then the boat later on come back with so many tons, I think it was 4 tons of cannabis. And what happened is the police were onto them because the customs knew the cops from Middlesbrough were then cops because he got off 3 times as Chariton, not Chariton, fucking what they call him, fucking, I can't think of him, with the whiskey and the fucking beer and that off the dock, I can't remember his fucking name now. He had a garage, I slapped him in the garage, I can't be thinking name. Oh, fucking hell. I can't think his fucking name to me, I didn't. So he had to come to me. You lose your memory when you get older, you know, fucking hell. So Paddy, that where the Brown had done what happens, he got questions, but they couldn't do nothing because I'd already warned him. And then he told every company what they were. And then, anyway, so that boat came back and it came into Liverpool. So Liverpool police were waiting for it because they knew, Liverpool police and customs were waiting for it because they knew the cops where I live from, Teesside cops, were working with fucking Chariton. Not Chariton, but fucking hell. They call him. Oh, fuck. Emma! From here, Chariton, he's on the other boat, he's on the grass. I can't think his fucking name now. He lives down by the Bouxville, he had a garage down there. He was still setting all the people up with drugs. Got off with it for years. He was doing all the wacky and he was doing all the outside, just outside in Hartlepool. He was selling the stuff off the boat. I can't think of his fucking name. She wouldn't answer me. Ignorant cunt. The old rubber bullet. Yeah, that's Darren. Yeah, so he was doing this deal with this bloke, and when he come back, they were waiting at the airport with him, with all the army. The army was there waiting for him. He got nicked by the army. Full fucking place was surrounded by police. But they did that with me, not as big as him. They did that with me when I was up for like robberies and armed robberies and shit. What they do is they come in like with 2 or 3 cops behind you, with machine guns out. You're not going to be able to escape. It's just bullshit. So the Jews, ooh, he's a nasty man. He must be nasty because he's got guns here. They're trying to paint a picture. They've got two men at the front door. They've got armed response cars outside. The old armed response cars or the Jeeps now, the X5s. And they'll have them outside saying, but I banged my eye the other night, fucking on me with Eli. I've just noticed it's gone a bit red. Banged on somebody up, walked into the fucking somebody, like, whacked my eye into somebody. Fucking Eli, that knee tripped over him. He's like a fucking, like a tank he is. I can't think of this fucker's name. Berryman. Is it Berryman? Berryman. Yeah, Berryman, that was it. Berryman. Phil Berryman, that's it. Him, grassed every cunt up. So he made statements. He got caught with 4 ton, got off. How the fuck can you get away with 4 ton of cannabis? Got off with 3 ton, and he got off with 3.5 ton. 3 times he got off. So on the 4th time when he got caught, they were waiting for him, and they didn't tell Cleveland Police because on the first time they tried to get him, he had 20,000 ecstasy tablets on the plane, and he had a bloke flying it in from Holland with him, and they would land in Middlesbrough, just get it back and walk through and give it to somebody in a car, and they'd drive off with the gear because there's no thing in the airport. There's nothing. It was only a tiny airport, Teesside. So he'd just give his bag into the fucking. There was no like big massive turnover there like if you go down like London, everything gets searched. So anyway, he used to just give the bag over to the bloke when he searched everything, and they'd get the gear and get it out. So they end up and Berryman was got caught with the gear. Somebody grassed him up, so he got caught. The bag was took off, and there was 20,000 ecstasy in it. It was in the Middlesbrough Evening Gazette. Phil Berryman caught with 20,000 ecstasy tablets, blah blah, coming back on a flight from Holland to Teesside, where the ecstasy's been taken off him, blah 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 blah. And the next minute they said he went up to court. And he went, due to complications, blah 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 blah. We couldn't press charges. No, what it was, he was in with Tim Devlin said, who was the Stockton South MP who I went to see, and after they were trying to set me up or something. He was in good. He was a barrister. and he knew everything about the law. He was fucking clever, but he was also an MP. So he said to me, "These are working with the police, Brian. These are definitely working with the police." And that's how I knew about who was doing, because I got off the MP. He said they're working with the police, these. So that's why I kept away from them. And that's how I knew it was Paddy and a few other people he grassed up as well. They got jailed. They're working with him. Same MO, putting stuff in a boat or stuff in the back of a boat of a car. They drive around, just go to the petrol station, boom. Or they'll put like a $5 in the car, say, do us a favour, go and get us there because there's such and such off someone. And they'll go to do it and they get halfway there and there's only £2 worth of petrol and something, the car breaks down, so the cops know he's only in a 2 mile radius. Boom, they're waiting for him outside, just pull him over. And then they pull him over and they get in the back of the car, £100,000 of cannabis. Did that to one of the lads. The lad got 12 years for it, but it was him again, setting people up. So I knew he was doing this trick. That's why Paddy ended up phoning me up and you fucker, you were right about him. Fucking hell, everyone was talking about him in Liverpool. So when he got to Liverpool, he got off again. When he got to Liverpool, because he wanted him to work for them, because he could get people over. So in the end, they got caught. The loads of gear, they all got caught because the customs said, I'm not telling it. It was in the paper. They said, every time we tell the customs from Middlesbrough police, every time we tell customs from down the country, tell Middlesbrough we've got a cashier of whatever, drugs or weapons, and we've got to nick the person from Middlesbrough. The person from Middlesbrough keeps getting a tip off, so somebody was corrupt in there. We all know who it is. We all know who it was, didn't we, Ray? Don't we, Ray? We all knew it was you, Ray. You were doing it, Stingray. Stingray. We all know it was you bent cunt. Robo. Bent as fuck. Most corrupt police force in the whole of fucking history. If you put in there who's the most corrupt police force in British history, it'll come up Middlesbrough every single time. 600 CID, not just 600 coppers, 600 CID from Middlesbrough police force were arrested and questioned over the allegations of working with drug dealers and taking money. They had pictures of them with them coming back off the boat. He's on the boat. The top drug squad officer sat there side by side by the other two drug squad officers on a boat with a convicted, two convicted barons, proper Brian Trenton and barons. Brian Trenton's driving the Rolls Royce, and the top cop who worked for Middlesbrough, they sat next to him, and they get off again. So all these fuckers have been doing all this stuff for years. They keep getting off because they've been working cops. No, they're not talking about daft ounces here. We're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds, millions of pounds of drugs. And that's what they do. They get them in. And sometimes they get them on something where they're a little grass or they're a little noncy, little fucker. They've been touching kids up or something. So they get them into, right, you, got you, come here, you. I want you to go on the streets and do this. I want you to pretend to be a book author. Pretend you're writing books about people. You go around and get loads of stories off people on the street. We can use that against people. So we'll use you. We know you've been to jail for heroin. We know you've been to jail for stealing people, begging people's houses. But we're going to give you a chance now. You can go around to pretend to be an author, so you can dictaphone, because that way you can dictaphone someone, because you're asking their permission, and when you say yes, you give them permission to record them. And who do you think can do that? Record you, and then just go straight to the cops and say, this is what he said. Give it to the police. The police can use it in a court of law because you give permission to be recorded for a book. Think about it. We're the only one person I know about that. And all these people in the last so many years have been getting caught all over. Been doing books with these certain people. Loads of them have been caught from Hartlepool, from Newcastle, from down the road. All over people have been getting caught. Have been doing these books. One was Steve the Devil from. Well, it was a nice lady. I was supposed to do a do with him. Me, him, and Rob Holloway were going to go to Birmingham and do a do. And I think Joe Eakin was going. I was going. And my favourite boxer was Floyd Mayweather. He was going, but his dad was going. He was supposed to be senior. And when he got called up because of the COVID, but we were going to go. And that's when they were starting to tell me about the books. He was saying that Steve, I can't remember his name, or the Devil from Liverpool. And he was a nice lad. He was telling them, I'm going to get the police on you. I'm going to, because he said, do you know who killed such and such? So he did the same with another lad. Do you know who killed Johnny whatever? Do you know who killed that one? So why would anyone be wanting to ask someone who you murdered? Because no one in the right mind would have said, oh yeah, it was Tommy Jenkins. Oh yeah, I know who murdered Tommy, Andrew Jones. It was Lisa Johnson. Oh, what a fucking con man. What a con man. So write a book. Get them in the infiltrate people, get them all excited. We'll do a book here. All along you get recorded. And when the person turns the dictaphone off, He's already got another one in his pocket ready to go on. He's got one in his kettle ready to go on. So he's got a kettle all over the place when you're in his house. I found them, mate. I found them in the house. I thought you only had one, I said. He said, oh, that's not mine, that's my wife's. Absolute con man, pure con man. That's what he does. And then he goes round and grasses people up, makes statements on people. But those who like it, don't be shy, push the button. I don't know why. Any questions off anyone? There's a guy get with Curtis Warren. That was Brian Chariton who worked with Curtis Warren. Brian Chariton and Phil Berryman, both police informants. Brian Chariton ended up buying out all the hospitals with the CBD oil. He's worth about £400 million. He's worth fucking millions. He works. All the CBDs what you buy from the hospitals buy them off him. I know his son, he lives in Middlesbrough. He's all right to tell you the truth. His son's not a bad lad, but his dad was a known police informant. But never done that to me, like, but I just didn't have nothing to do with him. And when I got told by somebody like Paddy told me, if I told Paddy somebody was wrong, and Paddy wouldn't have to tell me twice, and I wouldn't have to tell Paddy twice, he'd know for the fact, because I've given him quite a few tip-offs. And the people he's been working with, the wrong ones, really wrong ones. People were working off going to try and set him up with things. And he didn't believe me at first. And he went, fuck, and I'm glad I fucking believe you, he said. He'll tell you if you ask him, he'll tell you the truth. Yeah, people try and plant things and things like that. Terrible. Trying to proper setup. No, for a fact it was there. I used to do with guns, one of the main ones. One of the main ones the cops used to do. They used to get the snitches and they would go to like a council estate. Like Bam Bam's where Steve McInerney lived from, Steve Shannon. And the lads be doing bits and bobs over there. And they'd get somebody to go in with a 9-bar heroin, but it'd be cut up, it'd be like 3 ounces or 2 ounces of heroin, and then bashed up with them. What they do is they get paracetamols and they put them in under the toaster, and you bake them. The paracetamols bake, and then they crumble, and then they grow. They go into the. You put them in with the heroin and mixed, so you've got maybe 6 ounces of paracetamols and 3 ounces of heroin, so mixed. So what it does, it runs on the tin foil. Paracetamol still, so they use it and mix it. But people really clever know when they're doing it. I've never touched heroin, never sold it, been involved with it. I took it up here and fucking got rid of it. Throw the cunt down the drain. Well, it was only a few ounces. Just died in front of the cunt, kicked it down the drain. And I've taxed them, and I've took coke off and that. Just threw the heroin, just kicked it down the side of the road, and fucking all water on the road, just left it. So what happened is, I must be fucking sorry. Yeah, so when they're working with the cops, so they were going around, that was it. They were going around and they were putting guns under people's baths. So they're saying, just go in the house and have a party. So they'd have a party that night. And they'd go in the house where I was on the party, they'd give somebody a gun. It'd be an old gun, fucking drop shite where the cops would have used, like a drop down gun. And they'd put it under the fucking, in the bathroom, put it under the bath panel, pull the bath panel, put it in there, leave it there overnight, and then raid them the next day. So the lads, there'd been about 20 people in the house that night. Someone's put it under the bath. They've got in there and said, oh, he's got a gun under the bath. And then they've raided the house and found the gun. But the poor fucking lad, he got 7 years for the gun, it wasn't even this. But then they did it to another one. And went, wait a minute, this cop was a decent cop. I can't remember his name now. He went, this is fucking twice in a week, there's something stinks here. So this lad, what they've done, they started put a few cameras up around there. And this lad went into the house. He was only in about 9 minutes, come back out, phoned the police. There was heroin under the bath, he said. And there was gear in the house. That was the phone call coming in. And they went in that house, the camera, they had it on all night in that street where the people sell gear. Nobody went to the house, only that one lad. So they knew it was him. They fucking went to his house and found busted his house. They had him on camera, they caught him. Went to his house, he had a press, he had a gun, he had bullets and everything. He got about 15 years. But he was setting people up. He was going to people's houses and putting fucking guns in for Cleveland police. He said, I did it for the police, but nobody believed him, but I believed him. And he was telling the truth. The cops said, if you don't do this for us, they already had him for about 4 ounces of smack. And that's why you have to do the deal with him. That's why I was never involved in that smack. It's fucking horrible stuff. Once you start taking that and you've sold your soul to the devil, like Davey Heslop said, once you're on that stuff, you can't come back. That's why him, the fake one, who writes the books, he's fucking cuckoo with it. He's absolutely cuckoo in the head, he is. Mentally deranged with it. Cuckoo. Absolute cuckoo. You've seen the state of him. I've seen a picture of him right on the show. I went, fucking state of him. I said, I don't even have to get revenge on him. He's fucking the state he's in. And by the way, I've phoned today, there's no Paul Sykes movie getting made last week. there's nobody making a movie. So this certain person said, I'm making the movie next week. It starts next week, but it hasn't started. And the number 3 I've seen today 5 times. He said, when you see the number 3, you're getting arrested. But I've seen it 5 times. Well, there's number 34. When you see number 3, well, there's 34 there. 13 on there. 3 on there. 3s are all over you, Dibby. You're just the cuckoo in your head. What you're doing is word associating. That's what you're doing. You look at a word, dig. And you'll say, dig mean punch, dig in the ground, dig like knock them out, dig, or dig's what you live in. You're going around word association. That's what you've got mental illnesses. It's called word association. What you're doing, you're trying to put round holes into square pegs. You're trying to put triangles into fucking round holes. You try to make things link together, don't even link together. That's called word association. Once you start trying to do word association, you need to go and see a doctor. Because you're trying to make round holes fit in the square pegs and square pegs fit in the triangles. You've completely lost the plot when you start doing that. My mate, he died, cut his own throat through it. He slit his throat right across his throat, killed himself. Can't think his fucking name now. And it's very, very best. One of them, Maggot from Grangestown. He cut his own throat doing that. His word associating. I was in jail with him. I said, listen, you've had a mental breakdown. I said, you need to anyway. I went and seen the psychiatrist. He stabbed the psychiatrist in the jail with a fucking pencil or a pen, I think it was. And they locked him in the fucking cells. And anyway, he got out and he went to his mum, stood there and cut his fucking throat in Grangestown. Poor cunt. He was a lovely lad as well. Do out for you, but once your mind's gone like that, too many tablets he was on, the heroin. It was on the brown. You can tell they're on the brown by the colour of the skin. You look at them, normal people, they've got bits of pink and all. Theirs is pure white. Unless you're ill, you've got the same look. Like when I got to hospital, I looked like I was fucking on brown or something. But I probably was because of the tablets. So I looked that colour because of the tablets and the morphine and shit. Most one morphine, it was diamorphine, I think it's called. I was on that. I said, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's just like the Hudson before I come to library, it's the 0.2. But they wanted me to take 10 millibit fucking 4 hours. I went. So I took 5 mil. I went barking, like wrenching the throat. I said, I can't take this. I know who would love it. I know who would fucking love it, wouldn't I? I'd give it to her. We all know who would love it, wouldn't he? Fucking idiot. Yeah, so everything's going good. I put £10 on in about 10 days, 12 days. Good muscle, no body fat on me, no fat on my chin, nothing. My hands now, it's like power's come back. My hand, there was no power in that hand before. It's coming back. And both hands are moving up where I could move them now. On my body, on my head can move, side to side can move where I'd fall over when I was doing that before. I'm getting up downstairs. I'm still struggling with the stairs a bit because my weight's going up. So because my weight's going up every day, I'm not getting my strength is still there, but it's still hard to do because I'm still putting more weight on it by putting more weight on my eating loads. I'm having 12 to 15 meals a day, just small ones. Like maybe eating a pot of noodle, eating things like a pot of noodle, bowl of rice, bowl of porridge, a big dinner, 4 or 5 eggs with 2 slices. I don't eat loads of bread, 1 slice of bread, 2 slices of bread. I'm having loads of fish, prawns, meat like that. I'm having steaks, 2 steaks a day. I'm having loads of really good food, about 6 eggs a day. Nowhere near as what I used to eat, but I don't want to be as big as I was before because I don't want that weight on my hip. High intensity workouts. Yeah, high intensity workouts are fantastic. What you do with high intensity workouts is if you're pushing yourself, if you're training, say, this is what I taught the doctor, Dr. Chowdhury, he lived just around the corner, multi-millionaire, lovely man, Indian he is. So he used to, when I had to get a jab with my backside for my sciatica nerve, I had to take me, pull my bottoms up a bit. And I pulled me, just showed him my legs. He went, what the hell are them? I went, oh, yeah, I'll show you. I showed him, I had my underpants on. I just pulled my shorts down. I did one as well. I went, woof, my legs. He went, oh, I can't believe the size of them. They're just ridiculous. Anyway, so I showed him my top. I took my top off and went like that. I did a trap over. Hey, one of them in there. It's like, is that your trapeze? I went, yeah. I said, Phil. He went, oh, my God. He said, look at them. They're like mobile phones stuck on you to me, my abs. He said, you're like Superman. He was fully doctored him. So he was training for years. But what he was doing, like most people, the thing just going for a walk is still good for you. But if you just walk in the same pace every day, it's like for an hour. See, you do an hour a day, like jogging. I said, yeah, you do an hour a day jogging. So you're doing the same jog at the same speed every day in the same mileage. He said, yeah, so. I said, yeah, because you're not pushing yourself. He said, yeah, but I'm doing a full hour. I said, yeah, but you're only pushing yourself to the same thing every day. It's the same movement that you're doing that every day. So if you go like 100 meter sprint and stop, turn and walk down the bank, do up a bank, that's pushing yourself to the limit. You can't really walk when you get up the line because you're pushing yourself to the limit. So you go the next day and you do maybe 4 10-meter sprints. So you might get 9 seconds on one, 10 seconds on another, 11 seconds on another, and 12 seconds on another. But because you've pushed yourself as fast as you can go, push yourself high intensity interval training, then you push yourself to the limit. So then the body is breaking down. Because if you're just doing the same thing like every day, jogging like that, don't just stop, you just get used to it. So because you're going fast as you can and be calm, even if you don't beat your record, you might do 8 seconds, you might do 10 seconds, but you still push yourself to the limit. So what happens then is the body is called high intensity interval training. I think it was bought, I think Sweden, somewhere like that country, Switzerland, Sweden, did it in the 40s, I think it was 50s. Because you're pushing yourself to the limit, your body breaks down so much. So usually it breaks down microscopic terms, like Dom later on said, muscle soreness. So it breaks all what your muscle does when you're training, pushing it to the limit, like high intensity interval training. Because you're pushing it to the limit, the only thing that can help it is your growth hormone. So what happens is your growth hormone can come out then, because when you push it, the hypothalamus in your pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland can help hypothalamus work. It sets it like a light. And then your growth hormone works. So your growth hormone then comes out and it starts repairing the body. So your body's being broken down because it's got like a little microscopic tears in the skin, in the muscle. It tears the muscle all over when you break it down. And it's got lactic acid buildup as well. So you've got both of them. So when you're taking like creatine, glutamine, amino acid, all that, it's good. But if you stay and don't take any, just take protein. Don't take any carbs, because if you take carbs, it'll stop your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland working to produce the growth hormone, because it goes into sugar, then it goes into glycogen through the liver, and has to be broken down through the liver. It goes into your pancreas here, all the sugars. They then go up across. Shut up! They go across here into your stomach. They go across this side, and they then like break it down into sugars. So sugars make you do your running, and protein gives you that builds the muscle tissue up. But if you take sugar with protein after training, when you run high intensity interval training, that'll turn off. So if you don't take the sugar and just take protein, you can have a full day of drinking protein, and your growth hormone will stay on for a full day. So you're getting hundreds and hundreds, and you might get like 1,600, might go up 400%. Your growth hormone. So if that goes up 400%, that means it's repairing the body 400% better than it would be maybe just 200% protein. Growth hormone. So that's what it does. But as soon as you take sugar, like a sugar, it cuts it off straight away. Like one hormone interacts against the other hormone, cuts it out. And he did that then. 3 months training doing it on bike. So I said, listen, a minute fast, a minute slow, a minute fast, a minute slow. First week. Next week, 2 minutes fast, 2 minutes slow, 2 minutes fast, 2 minutes slow. Next week, 3 minutes fast, and then go a minute slow. 3 minutes fast, a minute slow. I could only get to do like 2 minutes. Anyway, within 3 months, he lost 3 stone. He couldn't believe it. He said, I've lost 3 stone. I've lost 3 stone. He had to come around my house about 6 times to understand what I was talking about. Because he said, I come to the house and see you, because I went to the doctor to see him. And he came to the house. Yeah, Bell End is in, yeah, mate. I think so. He's a fucking divvy, isn't he? He's just Sykes there. So, yeah, so I'm just going to get you the Sykes story, the proof. So he's saying I only made the Sykes story up because I fell out with him. Now, let me explain this to you. I've only found this, you know, the penny drops sometimes. I'm an idiot, mate. I did a book called The Taxman, 2004. I did the book. What is it now? It's like 20 year past, 20 odd years, is it maybe? 20 years ago or more. And I did another book called Street Fighters. I did another book called Scottish Hardbastard, because I was from Scotland. I was on the front of here in a car with a kilt on, and I had a belt round, and it was the taxman. It said on the car. It was a Mercedes, top of the range, 60 grand car. I did that. So in them books, 25 years ago, 26, 27 years ago, because I did one called Street Fighter. Like I said, it was all the 22 best fighters in Britain. So Julian Davies, who written the book, said,
out of them all, I think Brian Cockerill is the best. It's in the Lane Whiteley's got a newspaper, and I've got one upstairs. I put it on a couple of years ago for people to see. He said, in my time, he said, I've only seen it, never seen anyone with hand speed as fast. The power when he was hitting me in that guy, when I was punching the bags, he said he really was hurting me in that bag, and he could have went on, but I had to stop because he was hurting my hands, really hurting them. He just felt like he was dislocating my shoulder and he was hitting me. He said, so I had to stop. I'm telling you now, he's 17 stone he weighed. And he was a professional, like semi-pro fighter. He's had hundreds of like bare gold medals fights for money in Tidwell in Wales. So he told the story about it. So anyway, he said, Julian Davies said, there's a fight only like where Brian Cockerill only comes around every 100 to 150 years. He said he's got everything. You have to build the power, the strength, and he's a gentleman as well. He's not a bum, and he's I think for me, I think he's the best of all time. He said, and that was his thing. It's in the. I'll get the paper so you can read it. And I'm talking. So I did the book 20 odd years ago, and I'm trying to talk here. Yeah, 20 odd years ago, I did the book. Was the book I did about me. You're talking off the top as I can't think. 20 odd years ago, I did the books in 23, and the other one was Street Fighter. Like I said, I did one called Viv 3, I think it was, with a lad called Steve Richards who did his knowledge, and he went round and he did his due diligence. He spoke to all the family members. If somebody didn't want to be in it, he wouldn't do it. But that arsehole just puts you in your bed, you're not. He's just a scumbag. It's just horrible. So if you say, I don't want to be in it, they'll say, okay, thank you. And he'll just go away. He'll just go and get another story till he gets it right. So he put all the stories in right, talked to Lee's family, talked to Lee's mum, all the people like that, and all the people Lee knew. And he written the books on Lee Duffy, he written the books on Paul Sykes. No, he did written the books on Viv Graham, as well. So he did his due diligence, I think he spoke to Hannah about it. And he went around and spoke to the people where he just takes it, writes the book, keeps every penny for his fucking self and rips everyone off. That's what he's done to everyone. So he's saying I made that story up. But when I was telling him that story in his kitchen, he went, oh, this is marvellous. I'm telling him about when Lee Duffy offered him up, but I'll tell you that another time. So what happened is, I was still telling the story about when I went to fight Paul Sykes in Wakefield. So I got a phone call to Terry Rich, who was a very good friend of mine. When I first moved to Hartlepool, 13 Romaine Park, I told you, he lived there, Mick Sorby lived at the bottom. So they had a debt. And he said, do you want to go over with me, you and Garside? I said, I'll go with you, let's go then. So we goes over to Wakefield, we got there, and we got to this pub. It was about an hour or so to get there. We got in this little pub. So this kid had phoned up, sounded about 18, 19, 20, young voice. He said, I've been taxed by Paul Sykes, but he knew Dave or something. I think it was something to do with the boxing. Like he did a bit of boxing with Dave. So we goes there. As we're going there, we're going down Terry Rich, was fucking funny. He's one of the funniest people you ever met. So we're getting down there, and I was like 24 stone then. I was massive. So I goes in the toilet, the woman never seen me. She's come out and she's mopping. She went, but you're a big lad, Terry, because Terry was about 20 stone, about 6 foot. You know, yeah. I said, yeah, I am, yeah. Then Dave come by, he's a big lad. What's going on? And I walked on, she went, look at the size of his legs. He only had a pair of shorts. And she went, yeah, we're here today. Said, they were all top fighters or something. He said, Brian there, he's the world champion. He's the world champion pie eater. Dave's the European champion, and I'm the British champion. Fucking funny, yeah. Were you really? He said, how many pies can you eat the most? I can't eat many as fucking Shirley, 33 pies. Anyway, he said, oh yeah, we do that for a living. I was just laughing, but the woman was laughing her head off. And yeah, we're only joking. We went out. She went, you buggers. She was like Hilda Ogden, like that type of woman. And all we did, me, you and Dave, all day we laughed our heads off, with Terry. My voice was gone. So we goes to this pub, and it was fucking stinking. The place where Alan went. Goes in the door, turns right here, big long bar like this. And in the corner over that side, there was another tiny little bar where the man washes his glasses. And you want a drink making, but there was a big bar here. So got in, Dave's gone in. Dave, what did we think? No, Dave's gone in straight away. Went offered him out, and he shit himself. He said, no, I don't know, trouble with you. He said, where's the 1,200 quid? He said, oh, see this kid I'm to. He sat with a kid, a little boy about 14. Probably, we know exactly what he was doing, but anyway, we weren't giving him fucking sandwiches or teaching him the fucking laws of fucking Isaac Newton, you weren't teaching him fucking maths or fucking the equation or the fucking string theory. Where you sat with a 14, up to a 14-year-old. Sykes sat there, big ugly thing, big ugly man, proper, big moustache on his face. I looked at him and I said, no. So anyway, we came back. We got that money. We went to this lad's house. So the young lad come with us and took to the lad's house. The lad gave us the £1,200. I said, we'll give him that back now. Let me see you give it to him. So he gave him £600. Me and Dave got 200 quid each. So it was like 30 odd years ago. So £200 just go and run there an hour back. He said, fuck all to us. So the next minute, I'm sitting in the house and it was about 2 months later. Paddy phoned me and said, do you want to come with me and Dave? We've got a debt with that fucking Sykes again. But this was a different debt. I thought, him again? He said, yeah. I said, well, I'll do this one. He said, okay. So I said, don't you fucking Dave, I'll do now. So he goes to the pub. I get to look down. I seen him sat at the table like that, like big bloke, about 15 stone, about 6 foot, I'd say, maybe a little bit more. Sat at the table with the young kid. The kid looked petrified of him. And I went, hey, yo, daft cunt, let's get outside. He went, no. And he went out and he said, that's how I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you, I said. He went like that, jumped back, and Dave said, he nearly pissed himself there. And he told Paddy stayed outside. What had happened, there was a lad down there, but like, my analogy would be Delboy. He sold stuff at the markets, trinkets and toys, and he used to do with that. When I went to his house, I can't come to your house. I said, what? He said, why? I said, you're doing perfume in the bath. He was pouring perfume into the bottles, to top them up and then sell them on the market for 3 quid each or 4 quid each. Probably cost him 50 pence. Anyway, he was a really rich man, but he was into antiques dealer as well, because it's all antiques down that way, like, the Leeds and that. So there was 2 elephants stolen out of a house, and Dave's mate wanted them back, and it was 20 grand they were worth. So me and Paddy went down to get them. Paddy stayed outside, and Dave came up to me. I said, you get outside, you daft cunt. Get outside, you fucking shit house. He never said a fucking word. Put his head down like that. I swear to God, on my brother's grave, my mum, my dad's grave. Never said a word to me. Put his head, don't no trouble, you lads. Don't no trouble, he said. Come out, and we came out, so we had to get this other lad from Skipton, because he knew where they were. So we went to Skipton, and he came out. So we went to Dave's again, and I stood outside with him. He was about 16 stone, about 6 foot tall. One of the best fighters in Skipton. I said, do you want to fight? And Dave shouted, don't even think about him, go with him, he'll fucking destroy you, I'm telling you. He'll destroy you. And Paddy said, don't even bang on him, because he knew I'd destroy him. So he just said, no, I'm just saying I'm a top fighter in Blake. I said, I'm top fighter in Skipton. I said, we're not in fucking Skipton, are we? So anyway, we were talking. Next minute, he went, are we all right now? I said, yeah. So we had to wait for this lad. So this lad then goes to Dave's, got a phone call saying he's got it, he's got me the stuff. The other lad's got it now. He was like somewhere closer to him. They give the lad the stuff back, and attacked him twice, and he never did a fucking thing. He's a fucking coward, he was. Bullying little kids, turning his back in fights. Rape, what he used to do? He used to come home with men, bring men back, let men do what they want to do. His wife, he sat there watching him. He used to be speeding out his head on speed. He used to take speed, constantly on speed and drugs, and bring women of the night back, pay them with drugs to do things with his wife, and sit and watch his own wife being abused in the house. He's sick in the head, that Sykes, a pure sicko. So Tales from the Great Graves, he's put one up where he said he went around with him from Liverpool, did all the heroin and that. He said he ruined the city. So he said when he was in jail with me, he said, and I think it was I'm not sure what jail it was. I think Strange Ways. If you watch it, it's called. All watch it tonight, and you'll see I'm telling the truth. It's called Tales from the Jails. Paul Sykes. Just put that in tonight. Promise you now. Watch it, and you'll watch it, and you'll never ever watch another thing of that idiot who's rightly telling the lies about Sykes. This man tells him he was an ex nurse, a male nurse. So he's going around the wings and that. So under the 1930s Act of such and such, no children, 13-year-olds can be mixed with anyone, like say 21-year-old, 22-year-old. So when you get in jail, you go in like 13-year-olds, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. When you get to 21, they put you on the wing where the men are, because you're classed as a grown man then. So under that rule, so he's going around this doctor, and this young kid's been raped. He said, and it was Sykes. Sykes did it. Sykes, he got his straight, he ripped them off him, and they all went through him. There was ones from Liverpool. There was about 5 or 6 in a gang he had, not just Sykes, he says. And he used to go around, and he had one of these young lads where he'd pretend he was getting beat up, and then Sykes would come on, you leave him alone, you. And then he'd go, I think, thanks, Paul. Then he'd get somebody else to do it. And then they'd go and I'd say, Paul, they'll help you. So then he'd go, right, I've done you a favour, you owe me a favour now. Take them back to the cell and give them one. If they didn't give them it, he just grape them. And this man tells you the story. This is coming from a prison officer. He's like a prison officer, but he's like a screw, come like nurse. And he's got white hair. I think they call him Dave, I'm not sure. And he's sat there and he's telling you the stories. He tells you the graphic stuff. And he makes you a bit balk. You do balk a little bit. It really is bad. And tears in my eyes, mate, because my brother got raped as a kid in one of them, Mosley, I think it was called. And he took his own life through it. So I know what them animals are like. So Sykes is in there, and he's with these ones from Liverpool, these black lads who were in Liverpool, and they're going and he used to hold the kid down, hold them with their hands by their arms, because there was 3 or 4 of them, and one would go and then the other would jump off, and he'd jump on and all that. He said it was terrible. He said, there's a big lad up there called me David Cockerill. I think that was just in case he gets this. I try to say he shouldn't use my name. So he said, David Cockerill, ask him. He's got stories where he went to fight and Sykes backed down. He said, I know these stories are true. He tells the story about me, and then he tells the story about Sykes when he was being horrible. So the governor came around and said, what's going on here? He said, oh, it's him. He said, it's him. No, sorry, the SO came around, the senior officer, said, what's going on? He said, he shouldn't be on this wing. He's going off this wing today. I'm the nurse here, medical staff. He's not sitting in the swing where there's children. He said, well, what do you mean he's been on the swing for whatever he says? And he says, look, he's not. And he said, I said he is going off. I'm telling you now. So he went straight to the governor and said, under the 1930 Act, no one's allowed to be around children under the 1930 Act unless they're like children themselves. So he had to be in. So he was took out of there. He said, the reason why I did it, he said, was to stop him from raping all the kids, because what we done is like acting them in the arse, like actors, like a green needle of green stuff. And it just makes like that catatonic cabbage. So for 6 months, he said, I fucking kept giving it every day. The right quadrant of his arse, stuck it in his arse. He said, and he certainly got his just desserts, because we just made him cabbage every day. But the stories, what I'm telling you, he says, is the truth. He said, but it's way, way more than what I'm telling you. But I didn't know, because he was in there for 6 months or something, or a year or whatever. And he tells you the graphic stories. And so it is bad. It's really sick. Really bad. Really, 10 times worse than I thought he was. And he thinks he's great, that idiot who writes the books, making shit. But the thing is, he does know what he did. He does know. And his own son, if you don't know this, battered a policeman to death. Battered him to death with a truncheon while the man was handcuffed to I think he was handcuffed or trapped in a window. And he battered him with the handcuff with a piece. I think it was a truncheon he hit him with. And battered him to death. He was only a young lad, a young cocker. Battered him till he got caught in bed in the house. So they've both sons have their life off. They're both no cases just like him. But he used to his only sister, when we were on the Jimmy O show, he said, what did you like? No, he said, on the Jimmy O, he said, when I got her home to my house, she stayed at my house for a few weeks. And I said, what was it like? She said, well, I just wanted a big brother like all the other friends at school who would look after you and support you and be happy and put your arm around you and love you. Not the monster that used to come to my bedroom every night when my mum was out and dad was out, or my family members were out, and he'd come in there and abuse me. He said, I can't put that in the book. I said, well, why wouldn't you? Because you know why? Because nobody would buy your book. So the thing is, I've exposed you now. I've exposed you. So you go on. It's called Tales from the Jails. It's not a big long-winded thing, and he's telling you the story. It's really it's gruesome, but it makes you realise what he was getting away with, Sykes. But that one screw there stood up to him. He was like a nurse type screw, but he wouldn't let him get away with nothing. He said, "Fuck you," not really old-fashioned type thing. So that's the truth. But that's all right. I'm going to go because I've got to go for Paddy because I've got to get Paddy on. So I love you all the well. I'll see you all soon. But Tales from the Jails. Don't forget, promise me to watch it just to prove. But if you want to find out if I did say that story, go and buy the Taxman book from 2004, I think it was, or 2005. That story about Paul Sykes is in that book there. So how could I have only just made that story up? in the last few years ago when I did the book, 5-6 years ago when I did a book, but it's in a book over 20 years ago. So there you are, there's the proof there with the books. My story about Paul Sykes and Paddy and me and Dave Garside is in that book in 2004. The book was written. You get out of Waterstones, wherever you can order it, and the proof's in that book there. I'll tell you, the stories never changed. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you all. Oh.
I just turned it off here.
Just told the truth about the normal book.
Yeah.
If you don't tell the truth, you never get in trouble.
Right, end stream.
I'll tell the truth.
Right. Right, I'm just letting you all know if you're tuning into Emma Cockerill channel at 9 o'clock. I'll just be on for 10 minutes. I've just got something to read out. Thanks very much. Right, bye.